If making chicken and dumplings from scratch scares you, then today's recipe is for you. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make the most amazing chicken and dumplings. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com. We're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget. Now, you are going to love today's recipe. It's really simple. Besides actually making the dumplings, we're just going to be using one pan for the entire thing. It's so easy that you can make it on a weeknight. It's the perfect comfort food on a cold day, and your kids are going to love this. So now you can find the full recipe linked in the description below. Or if you can't find that, because sometimes videos are wonky, just go to Google and search Eating on a Dime Chicken and Dumplings, and it will pull right up for you. You can always go to eatingonadime.com to search any of our free family-friendly recipes. Okay, it's time to get cooking. The first thing we're going to do is chop our veggies. Now, I've got 2 whole carrots that I've already peeled, because who wants to watch me peel? But I'm going to use my handy-dandy food chopper today. I have that linked in the description for you, but it's great when you're making soups and stews because you can chop your veggies up super quick. Now, when I'm doing my carrots, I peel them and cut the ends off. And then I cut them to where they will fit in there, but I like to cut them in half so that way it just makes it to where they cut more evenly and you don't have like these long pieces of carrots. So I'm just going to finish cutting these in half. Now, if you purchase the dicer, cutter, whatever, the food chopper, I can't think of the words today, it's going to come with 2 inserts. Well, it comes with more stuff, but this one's the smaller one and this is the bigger one. Today I'm going to do the bigger one just because in my heart, you still want them diced up, but in my heart, a chicken and dumpling is a little bit bigger. But if you want to do it smaller, like you have to pick your kids, you can do that too. If I were going to do a soup, I would like this, but I feel like a chicken and dumplings is a thicker, more like a stew consistency. So it's just my personal preference, but you do you. So now we're just going to throw these in here. One little push. And they're all chopped up. Isn't this crazy how fast this is? Okay, now we've got to do our celery. So we're just going to trim up the celery. Make sure they look good. And then I'm just cutting them into thirds so that they will fit into... That one I didn't cut small enough. Just fit into the food chopper and then one press down. And that one's already chopped. See how quick that is? So 2 celeries already nicely chopped. So I got all the carrots and the celery chopped right in here. Last but not least is our onion. Now, if you're just going to chop this up yourself, I actually do have an entire YouTube video on how to cut an onion so you get those pretty diced. But I'm using a yellow onion today. So I'm just cutting it in half, peeling off that outer crusty layer. And then for my food chopper, I cut them in half again. So this is the trick so you don't get long pieces of onions. You just put it in there diagonal. Hopefully you can see that. And just smash it down. And you have these beautifully chopped onion pieces. And again, you can use the smaller one if you want to. There's no judgment here. Quickly done. So I included that link. I know it sounds like I'm selling it. I'm not selling it. It's just... I love it. It's amazing. And it makes my life so much easier, especially when you're chopping onions because there's no crying involved. Now first you're going to want a stock pot. I have mine linked if you don't have one, but any of them will work. Then I'm going to place 5 tablespoons of butter right into the pot and allow it to start melting. Then we're going to add those veggies. Just toss them right in. Scrape them all out. Get it out. And we're going to saute this until they start to become soft. We're going to cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes until all of these veggies are soft and that butter is completely melted. So just 5 to 7 minutes. Now that the veggies are getting soft, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. We're going to add in a tablespoon of garlic and let it cook for about a minute. Now the reason I don't add the garlic earlier is because when garlic burns, it has a weird taste. So we want to make sure it doesn't burn. So I always wait until after the veggies get soft to add that in. Next, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. And we're going to stir this around. And this is going to be our thickening agent. That's what's going to make it nice and thick and creamy when we make our chicken and dumplings. Next, we're going to add in 4 cups of chicken broth or bone broth and a cup of water. And we're going to whisk this all around. I say whisk it, just stir it all around. But if you cooked that flour, you shouldn't. You just want to make sure you don't have clumps of flour. But since I cooked it, there's no clumps at all. Then we're going to add 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. But chicken thighs will also work as well. Then we're going to add in our seasonings. We have a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of dried thyme, and a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then we're just going to stir this around, and then we want to bring this to a boil. So I've turned it back to high. Now once it's come to a boil, I like to turn it down to about medium low and add a lid. You don't have to add the lid, but I like to keep the moisture in, and it's going to take about 20 minutes for that chicken to cook through until it's completely shreddable. So I wanted to come in and check it. Now, it's smelling amazing. But when I grab the chicken, it's not like, see how it doesn't easily fall apart. So that means it's not quite ready. So we're going to let this cook for a few more minutes. Okay, one final test. I just tested it before I videoed. As you can see, it's starting to fall apart easier. So now I'm going to remove this chicken and go ahead and shred it. So now I'm just taking 2 forks and shredding the chicken. Since it's chicken and dumplings, I kind of like my chicken shredded into large chunks, but you still want it to be able to fit on a spoon. I do have a knife here. If some of them are too big, you can just cut them in half like that to make them a little bit smaller. And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of frozen peas. We're going to turn this back up and let these peas cook while we make the dumplings. Now the reason I didn't add them in the beginning is because they would get super soft and really soggy if we would have added them at the very beginning when we did the carrots and the celery. So to make the dumplings, we're going to start with 2 cups of flour. Now anytime you measure flour, you don't want to scoop and pack it in. You just want to do a quick scoop and then use a knife, or like my measuring spoons came with a leveler, and you just sweep it off. That way you get that pretty measurement. If you do pack it, then your dumplings are going to be really thick and dry, and they're not going to be as great. Then we're going to add in a tablespoon of baking powder. And we need a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of thyme leaves. Oh wait, I forgot this was a 1/2, so I gotta add more. Oop, there we go. And then we're gonna mix this together. Once it's mixed, we're gonna make a well in the center, which just kind of means you kind of push it off to the side. And we're going to pour our milk in the middle and melted butter. Now remember, you can get the full recipe, so don't worry about having to write everything down. On Eating on a Dime, we have a way for you to save it, print it, pin it, anything you want to do in order for you to make the recipe. So we're just going to stir this together until it's combined. Super simple, right? That's how easy it is to make dumplings. Very simple, and you get the flakiest, yummiest dumplings. I just wanted to show you up close, like see how you have this nice pretty dough, and it's not too sticky once you get everything mixed in. Then all that's left is you're going to use a cookie scoop. I have these linked as well for you, but you're just going to dig in, scoop it, and plop it right into that hot pot of the mixture. Make sure the stovetop is still nice and hot, and we're just going to plop these right in. Now we're just going to take that cookie scoop and plop them right on top. Now we want to try to not have them touching, and you don't want to mix them in immediately. Now you can decide how big you want your dumplings to be based on the size of the cookie scoop that you're using. Then once they're all in there, you just want to gently push them down. Not too hard, just to get some of the liquid covering them. And now we're going to add the lid, and we're going to cook this and let it simmer for about 15 minutes until those dumplings are cooked through. The key is to make sure you do not remove the lid during that cooking time. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, so let's give it a check. Ooh, it looks so good. Then we're just going to kind of make sure they're broken apart. Let me turn this down. And I'm just going to mix them in, just being gentle. So I tested a little bite. The dumplings are cooked through, and we are ready to eat. Oh my goodness, I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. And now it's time for the best part, serving it and taking a bite. The smell is so good. Like I said, I wish you could smell it. It's nice and thick. It's the perfect comfort food on a cold day. And right now it is cold in Oklahoma. These dumplings look really good. Okay, let's try a bite. Ooh, it's a little hot. Now, I'm kind of a weirdo. I like fresh pepper on everything, so I probably would top it with some cracked pepper. Super hot. Can I do it? Oh yeah, that's delicious. Those dumplings are great. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend, guys. Now, if you've been scared, hopefully this video showed you that chicken and dumplings made from scratch is actually pretty easy to make. There's really no reason that you can't do it. Homemade dumplings are so much tastier than like canned biscuit dumplings or store-bought dumplings. And as you saw, it was just a few simple ingredients that you probably already have on hand. So if you love today's video, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. We've passed 100,000 subscribers, so we're super pumped. And we would love you to join our channel. And we just have a lot of fun making family-friendly recipes that, recipes that you'll actually eat. We don't want to just give you recipes that are too complicated. We focus on family-friendly and easy and delicious and budget-friendly. So save some money and eat some delicious chicken and dumplings at home by making today's recipe. Remember, you can grab the full recipe. It's linked in the description, or you can always go to Google and just search Eating on a Dime Chicken and Dumplings, and it will pull right up. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you next time for another family-friendly recipe. Bye! Oh, yeah. Good.